What's up, guys? Welcome to the Amazon Savage podcast. I'm joined with Levi here. He's done 1 million in sales the last 12 months, and he's also good at credit cards. He's traveled a bit, I think, according to his Instagram. He does jiu-jitsu. Cool guy. So in this podcast, we're going to break all that down on how he did that. So welcome to Amazon Savages.
Welcome to the Amazon Savages podcast. Hear the stories of Amazon sellers crushing it in the game and keep up with the latest strategies that are working. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you truly try and work really hard, you will make a ridiculous amount of money selling on Amazon.
So you said pretty cool. Summer 2022 is when you got started. Kind of walk us through, you're doing 1 million in the last 12 months. Kind of walk us through how you got to that point.
Well, I first started, I used to flip storage units, right?
Yeah.
And in storage units, there's everything, right? So I saw
How old are you, by the way?
Huh?
How
21.
20. Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, 21. So I saw an opportunity to buy, it was around 10,000 books, and they were mint condition too.
Yeah.
I bought it for like $800. Yeah, and that was a lot of work. I realized that, and at the same time that I did that, Nike was having a sale too, 30% off around that time. So then I went to a Nike outlet store and I took out Seller Amp, and then I didn't understand Keep as much, but I got out there and I started scanning everything, and I was like, okay, this is profitable, right? I bought around 15,000 pairs of shoes, and then I sent it all to FBA. Didn't have a problem.
You said 15,000 shoes to FBA?
No, $15,000 worth of shoes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
So it's like my first month I did 15 grand on Amazon. So that was a mix of books and shoes too.
How did the books do?
The books were doing pretty well. But the problem was I did send in a lot of crappy books. So then I learned a lesson there too.
What did you do? Scan the books with Scout IQ?
Yeah, it was a Scout IQ, yeah. And so then I had another opportunity. It was around 50,000 books. And it was around the same price too in October of last year. And that took me like 4 months to go through, honestly. And I still have around 15,000 books in the back of my storage unit sitting there. But
where are you located?
I'm in Rahway, New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay. If you want someone to reach out to you and take those books, I got a lot of booksellers listening.
Oh, yeah.
I actually got a buddy up there who might take them from you too. I don't know. New Jersey's not too big of a state, but he's got a warehouse up there. That's actually where so I run a business where I sell restricted items for people. And one of our warehouses is for CDs and DVDs for restrictedinventory.com. Our warehouse is in New Jersey. So if you want, we could probably work something out. If they're good condition books.
Yeah, they're good condition. Yeah, that's why I have them sitting there, because I know they're valuable. So one day I'll send them to FBA. I have a lot of inventory right now. I think I can send them up to like 30,000 units right now. I already have 30,000 units on Amazon, but I can send them up 30 if I wanted to. Yeah, and so then that took me 4 months to go through. But then I started doing OA right in September of 2022. Yeah, and then I hired a virtual assistant from there because I learned pretty quick. So then Keepa, I caught on quickly. Then all the way up to February, if you look at like my sales, I did 100,000. My first 100,000 month was in February, right?
Nice.
Then Amazon took $20,000 for my inventory. It was just gone. It was one ASIN. It was a killer ASIN too. Yeah.
What did they do? They gated you in it, or?
No, it wasn't gated. They took down the listing, right? The ASIN. They created another ASIN for it, but I couldn't even see my inventory nowhere. It wasn't in stranded inventory. It wasn't the FBA inventory. It was just gone in digital numbers, and I just kept opening cases, and then it was like a stimmy check in July. All of a sudden, it reappeared. 450 units appeared. And it just started selling. It was still a hot seller. So
I will say, like, Amazon can do some fuck shit, but they've rarely ever like completely stolen my inventory. Like one year they shut down my first account that I was selling textbooks on, and they held like 2,000 textbooks for 18 months, and they just released them. They just released them like a few, like a month or two ago. So I actually have them all at my house now. But I wrote it off as a loss, and then all of a sudden I get like 5 boxes of heavy textbooks sent to me. So
And they just appeared at your house, or you saw it coming?
Actually, so it was weird. Like, they let me remove some of the textbooks, but then there was a bunch that were suspected counterfeit, and they just shipped them without my permission to Maryland to a law firm. The law firm looked at them and said these are legitimate, and then they asked me where to ship them, and so they just shipped them back.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was possible. They could do that.
That's one of my main businesses, man. Restricted inventory.
Grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking Well Show.
So we sell your textbooks at a 50-50 split. So if you send us your textbook, let's say this was going to sell for $100 profit. This is a new policy we have. We only ever keep $20. So if you sell a $100 profit textbook through our service, we pay you $80 and we keep $20 for ourselves. And then, so instead of a 50-50 split, it's still a 50-50 split, but on books that make us over $20, we cap ourselves at 20. So
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. But that was like a stimmy check in my business. But at the same time, I already started rebuilding it. I rebuilt my entire business differently, especially after ASD. Speaking with other people, I hired another virtual stint right after ASD, around ASD, so at the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hired 2 beginner VAs in May, right? And they're killing it right now. So then I have 4 VAs. And one thing I tell everybody, and it kind of, people like give me a little shit about it, but I don't like sourcing. I don't like being on my laptop all day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather be in a warehouse running a team and
or doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, doing jiu-jitsu. Like I like to be active, right? I don't like to be on my laptop all day and sourcing. So I have the sourcing 100% outsourced, and then the buying, I do the buying. But when I tell people, when you have so many products in front of your face, it's easy to buy, right? It's hard to make bad buying decisions when you have more than you can afford.
Kind of walk us through like what your VAs are doing. Are they like going to certain websites? You don't have to name the websites, but what is their process, and then how do you end up purchasing the product? Like, walk us through what that looks like.
So they're all sourcing, right? All 4 VAs are sourcing, and then they all do their own admin tasks too. But so I do it a little differently. I don't buy their products the day of. I wait at least 2 weeks until I buy until I look back. So I have thousands of products that they find from months ago. And I always say a good lead is always a good lead, right? If it's still replenishable, and think about it like this. If you bought it 6 months ago and you look at it today and it's the keep us still stable, it would have been replenishable at that point. But now you definitely know you can replenish that consistently, right? Because it's at the same price and the keep us still stable. So now you just hop onto that listing and order the product. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're just going to like different websites. Are you having them storefront stock? Are you having them?
So no, they've been working. They were storefront stocking in the beginning. And then I changed it completely. I was like, okay, we're doing 100% manual sourcing. So they go through a lot of websites, thousands of websites, and looking through sales. And right now, what they're doing is we're preparing for next year. They're keeping track of every single sale and every single price point, right? So we have it very organized.
Gotcha.
By every first day of the month, I asked them to look back at all their leads, right, from the past 2 months and see where the price changed, right? So they can we're keeping track for next year. Because, for example, I bought a product in September, right, from this website. I bought 300 units. 2 weeks later, they dropped their price by $2. I'm like, oh damn, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So that's something that you can keep track of for next year. Like, okay, I'm not buying this in the first week of September. I'm buying at the end of September, right? Mm-hmm. And then the product comes in pretty quickly. It came in 3 days, so it's not really a big difference. Mm-hmm. And it is a seasonal product, so but I know it sells very fast. It sells very well. So next year I know when to buy it, the exact time to buy it. Yeah.
Who's purchasing the product? Are you the one that ended up clicking the purchase button, or did your team do that?
As of right now, yeah, but I am training my head admin to, because I honestly think, so buying, I teach them everything. They even know how to, they came to the US, they would know how to prep too, because I teach them that too. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? This is how the process works. Once it goes into Amazon, they start checking in the products and all that. So then I teach them all that. So like, you want to teach your sourcing VAs how to buy too at the same time, right? And then it's like fast track FBA. He also talks about ask them to apply for the position. Don't just give them the position, right? And so like my head admin, he really wants that position, that buying position, right? But I'm working with him and he's teaching it all. I'm teaching him like the thinking process before buying, right? So he can be like a second me, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your prep situation look like? You're prepping at home? You're not using prep centers?
No, I'm not using prep centers.
Are you in a tax-free state? No, you're in New Jersey, you said.
Yeah, I'm in Jersey. So, I mean, we're sales tax free on all apparel and shoes. Yeah, so that's like, I was just talking to my friend. He says 9% in California, which is insane. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Retail and online is no sales tax on grocery too. But so I operate out of a storage unit right now. Right now, I have 2 storage units, 250 square foot, and 100 square foot. So it's 600 square feet in total right now. I just got the 250 square foot like 3 weeks ago because like last week I pumped out like 15,000 units from the storage unit. Yeah. And I'm doing all SPD, but I was receiving pallets. So then I have like a pallet jack lifter, right? It's not a forklift, but I got it from Facebook Marketplace for $700. Yeah.
Nice. So wait, how many units a month? You said 1,500 or
15,000 last week. I shipped out.
You shipped out 15,000 units?
Yeah.
What's your average sales price?
Average sales price, I would say around like $40.
Holy shit, man! You're looking at that's like 600,000 worth of inventory.
Yeah, because I purchased last month $230,000 worth of inventory last month.
And
before the month.
All online arbitrage.
Yeah, all the way. Yeah.
Are you doing? You don't have to name the websites, but are you doing like OA from like big websites that like are common for OA, or are you doing?
No, because that's the thing too. I tell a lot of people I've never purchased from Walgreens, from CVS, or from Kohl's. Right. I have purchased from Nike, but I haven't purchased Nike since July because I realized it's just
How are you dealing with order cancellations?
Order cancellation. So the thing is, so that's one thing I tell my my sourcing VAs: don't send me any products I can't buy more than 10. I'm telling you, I don't like being on my laptop.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be on my laptop all day putting in coupons and checking out like 5 by 5. I want to be able to submit a 100 unit order and that's it. I'm done for today, right? And at the same time, I'm not buying every single day too. I don't have a daily spend goal. I do have a monthly spend goal, but it's only when the opportunity comes, right? I think because last month I was at the verge of only spending around 40,000 probably in the beginning of the month, and then I spent another 190,000 the last 8 days of the month, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. So like, let's kind of walk through your capital situation because I know you're a credit specialist. So you're smart about this stuff. You've done about $1 million in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So do you know what your profit margin is?
It's around 15%.
Okay, so you're 150K profit.
Yeah.
On $1 million. And you just spent 230,000.
Yeah.
So did you come into this with a bunch of liquid cash? And how much are you leveraging credit? Kind of walk us through how you got to the point where you're spending comfortably and confidently 230,000, because that's pretty impressive. Your first year, or scary, or
Nah, it's not scary. So I tell everyone I have a system with my credit cards right now.
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't really understand how statements work and when the balance is due. And every time I talk to someone about it, at least new sellers, they're really shocked, like, oh shit, I'm not using it correctly. I'm like, yeah you're completely not.
Give us the credit card 101, man.
All right, so the best advice I can give people is like, everyone keeps talking about the plum card, right?
Yeah.
Plum, right? I got the Plum card in February. But my first cards I was really using were the Platinum and
I don't know if you
Amex.
got a pin or something, but it's like picking up on the mic. Are you clicking your pin?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's picking up. The YouTube
Yeah,
comments they're gonna kill me.
yeah. So the Amex Plum card was meant to help your cash flow out, right? So if you're putting 100% of your spend on that, you're not really using it correctly, right? So I only buy 30 days of inventory. I don't buy any more than that. So I spend on Amex Platinum card, Amex Gold card, Chase Inc. Unlimited card, and the Chase Premier card, right? And occasionally the Capital One Select, but my limit is only 10 grand on that. I don't really spend it. And the Amex Plum card. Those are the only cards I spend on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when you're putting it all on one card, that is when you're actually over leveraging credit. Because, for example, if you have one card that opens on the first, the statement opens on the first, and you spend within those first 3 days, you have 52 days to pay off that card, right? But if you have 200 grand on that one card, right, you're not going to sell the full 200 grand within 30 days, right? Within those 52 days. So the rule is like you're only selling 85% of your inventory, right? Throughout the month. Other 15% is just carried on to the next month, right? So that 15% is what should be going on your Plum cards because those are the full 60 days, right? And then people, what they're doing, which I don't agree on, is they're spending every single statement. So if you're spending like 30 grand every single statement on the Plum, you're having to spend or pay off 30 grand every 30 days when the payment is due, right? Because it's trailing, the credit is trailing, right? So at that point, you're not using the full 60 days. You're not taking advantage of that Plum card at least. So then with the Gold card, for example, I'll spend 50 grand on the Gold card and 50 grand on the Platinum card, right? But I only spend on the first 5 days of statement, so I have a full 50 days to pay it off, right? And then but I'm only spending on 30 days of inventory because I have all the data already.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a huge tip I can give to people. Like,
so remind us on the Plum for the charge cards for like the Amex Gold and Platinum. You're spending the first 3 days, is what you're saying, in order to get 52 total to pay it off.
Yeah.
Because there's a 20-day grace period after the statement. 25-day grace period to pay it off. Walk us through what you're doing with the Plum again. Are you doing the same concept?
I'm only spending every other statement.
Okay.
Every other statement, and I'm only putting 15% of that, the spend that I had for that month, right? And then, so I just saw someone the other day. They paid off 100 grand off of the Amex Plum card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I was like, why did you put on the Amex Plum card if you were going to pay it off early anyways? Why did you put on the Amex Platinum card? You would have got that 1.5 X reward points, right?
Yeah.
Versus the Plum card, his statement balance that was due was 9,000, but he paid 100,000. So I'm like, you only used a credit card for 20 days, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know when he spent that 100 grand, but he definitely spent it within he paid it off before the statement was even closed. Mm-hmm. So you're not really taking advantage of the full credit, like the entire credit system that's in place.
Okay. Right? So for your 230,000, can you kind of break down like what cards you used that on?
So like the Platinum card I had. So remember I told you I only spent at the end of the month. So the Platinum card the statement opened on the 12th, right? So I was already like, I spent on the 17th, I spent 75 grand right there on the spot. And then the Gold card, I actually called Amex, and so my statement opened on the 21st, and I wanted to spend on the 28th. So I called them, I'm like, my balance is paid in full from last month, right? I paid off like 60 grand. I'm like, is it possible that I can switch my statement over to the 28th? So they put it into the system, and they approved it. So then I have that full 30 days again for that statement and the extra 25-day grace period to pay that off.
Since originally it was on the 21st, the 28th would have been 7 days after, which that would have not put it on the statement for that, or it would have been on the statement, but 7 days delayed, or 7 days
They
delayed.
just moved. So my statement opens on the 21st, right? And I was like, can you move it over? Can you make my statement so it starts on the 28th? Because
So giving you 7 more days, essentially.
Yeah, so they did. I'm like, oh, so I basically got another 7 days. I confirmed on the phone. She's like, yeah, you basically did, but I didn't spend any money in those 7 days. So, but I still got the full 55 days basically. And the supplier that I'm working with right now, it's like a 2-week lead time. So especially with wholesale, you have to, with lead times, you don't know how long it's going to take. So you have to be putting it in the first 3 days of your statement, or it's not gonna come in time.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah. And then so that was the 2 cards, and then the Chase Ink card. I realized too, I didn't even spend on that card the last statement. I just paid it in full from the statement before. So I told you I have a $36,000 limit on that card. In September, I used all of it, right? And I didn't have to pay it in full until November 7th. I paid it in full, and then I realized I didn't even use it for this statement, the last statement, and then I just maxed it out again when the statement opened again on the 13th. So I spent another 36 grand on that card. Yeah, but that's how I'm working with. It's just
how much did you put on the plum?
The plum card. I didn't even. Oh, last month I only put 20,000. Yeah. Because the thing is, like I said, I'm only spending 30 days of inventory. So that plum card is just the 15% of the inventory that's not selling within 30 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where did you learn this from? Did you come up with this yourself, or?
Yeah, basically. I came up with it myself because I just started to figure it out. I was intrigued by credit. So I just got into like the Amex world last year in May. That's when I first got my first Amex. That was before I started Amazon, right? But my friend was just telling me about the points that he travels for free, and he doesn't have a business, but he was just using it personally, right? And then when I got into Amazon, November and December, I was just getting the Amex Gold card. Then I got the Amex Blue card, and I was just getting the points up. I was racking up the points. So then the points is really it's worth it. So like right now I have around 800,000 rewards points just in Amex, and I have like 2,000 points in with Chase, right? 200,000 with Chase. That combined is worth 10 grand just in minimum, right? And if you're able to convert it to like Hyatt or Hilton, it can be like worth double, up to double. So yeah, like this year alone, I stayed at 2 times at all-inclusive resorts in Mexico, or both times were in Mexico. One was with Hilton. First time was with Hyatt, and the second time was with Hilton. And then,
where'd you go?
like, yeah, Cancun, yeah, and then the second time was
in the cartels with your reward points.
yeah. But like I've flown 7 times this year, and it was all with points. So I don't really. Cashback is cool and all, but I'd rather use it with the points. I get more bang out of my buck, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Most of the time, like resorts, travel, stuff like that. Like if you paid with your own money, you would have to pay taxes on that stuff. But if you use your points, it's tax free.
Yeah, like so somebody told me, they're like, why didn't you just pay your I just ordered the iPhone 15 Pro Max like 2 weeks ago, or last week when I was in Puerto Rico. He was like, why didn't you pay cash for a tax write-off? I'm like, yeah, but I got 25% off because Chase was doing like a discount. They have a partnership with Apple, right? And I've never had a Pro Max before. So I was like, I'm gonna get it. They're giving me 25% off, and I'm paying with points. And I just reached the Chase Premier bonus too. So I was like, oh, it's free. Why not? Right. So
I think the concept of always chasing tax write-offs is a little bit flawed, because at the end of the day, you're spending money.
Yeah.
Dave, to like pay the government less. And I don't think that's a good way to operate in business. Like if you're always chasing ways to get tax write-offs, it means that you're ultimately lowering your net profit at the end of the year. So
yeah,
I kind of disagree with the mentality of like always doing everything for tax write-offs. It's like, just get your fucking bread and pay your taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't always want to overpay. You want to try use the
Yeah, there's
system.
different ways. Like writing off mileage is a way that it's like it's not really an expense, but you're just taking, you know, what your speedometer says, and you're getting a bigger write-off than if you just wrote off. Like if you have a high gas mileage car, like I do, I got a RAV4. It's much better for me to write off the miles than it is for me to write off the gas. And like I'm strategically choosing, okay, this is gonna be a bigger tax write-off than this, versus like an example of, in my opinion, like a stupid write-off. A stupid one would be like if you spend, I don't know, $3,000 on something just to pay the government less. It's like you still spent, okay, you're not paying the government $900 now because now you have $3,000 less in profit to show for it. But did you really need that $3,000 thing? And I think sometimes people get a little bit carried away. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Could have put that 3,000 into inventory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart write-off. Like at the end of the year, let's buy a bunch of inventory, write it off for the year. And then I'm not a CPA, but eventually you are going to pay taxes on it in future years because it is going to sell and make you the profit. But yeah. What's a secret you've learned that's helped you grow your Amazon business?
A secret I've learned.
Yeah.
Networking. I mean, it's not really a secret, but I've been, so right now, like what I'm working with right now with is a brand direct right now. And so like this brand does like over $200 million a year in revenue, right? And I'm actually flying out to meet him next month in California, right? But everything's under the way I got into it was through OA. I was putting big orders in since May. I've been spending a lot of money with them. So then for me to open that account with them, it wasn't too difficult. So they already saw my order history. So, and it took me 2 months to get in contact with there's only one guy that runs the wholesale department, right? And it took me 2 months to finally get in contact with him. And it was like a 3-minute phone call. And he was like, yeah, we know who you are. Trust me, we know who you are. He's like, because I asked for a better discount. I was like, I need a better discount because I don't like the competition on Amazon right now, right? And I'm like, they're killing me right now. He was like, yeah, we know who you are. I'm going to submit this to the executive team and see what they say, right? It was a 3-minute call. That's it. He was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to get in contact with you for like 2 months. He's like, oh, here's my personal cell phone.
Nice.
And he gave me his personal cell phone.
Did you contact them through the retail website?
Yeah, the retail website, yeah. And that's not the only one that works too. So, okay, that's a good secret, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
OA websites, they're trying to make money too, right? And they're running discounts throughout the year. But for example, I called this one website, and I was like, "Oh, do you guys have a wholesale department?" And they told me no, but we can't really wholesale the brands that we work with, right? They're exclusive. But he was like, "We can give you special discounts." So essentially, it is wholesale. They're giving you a discount, right? Yeah. So like, you know how websites run like 20% off, like randomly, throughout the month. Just ask them for that 20% off, and they'll be like, I want to order consistently with you guys, right? As long as you guys are not returning items and like not giving them headaches, right? They're gonna want to work with you. So I have like,
these companies like the size of Kohl's, or are they smaller? Are they?
So like this one website that I'm working with. It's a family-owned business, but they have like 50 locations.
Okay.
Warehouses or locations around the U.S., right? And they're based out in like Colorado, I think, right? And I told him too when I was on the phone with him, I was like, "Oh, yo, I'll fly out there." And it was like a 65-year-old man, and we just chatting it up on the phone.
That's dope.
But that's like a little secret. Yeah, like call up the retailers and ask them if they have a wholesale department or if they can give you some type of discount throughout the year, right? It could work. What's the worst that can happen, you know? So then I think the way I was able to find that too, because it kind of makes sense. If they're allowing you to order more than 10 units per order, then that's like my VAs. They can't find anything less than 10. So if they're allowing you to buy more than 10, why not call them and ask them, oh, do you have a wholesale department or any type of discounts I could get throughout the year? So it does help a lot.
So your VAs now, are they actively looking for different websites, or are you kind of hunkering down on the websites you have? Because if you spent 230,000, you probably know what products you're wanting to buy, and you're still finding that you have a need for finding new products.
Yeah, I am because like I said, a good lead stays a good lead, right? So if they would find new mom and pop websites, then that's for next year. We can definitely take advantage of that. So for this Black Friday, they're going to be going crazy with sourcing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to compare it with the pricing throughout the year. Because, like, for example, for Nike, right? So that was the Nike prices. There's guys I've been in it for like 2 years. They can just see, they hop on a Nike website and they're like, okay, this price is, I've never seen it before. It's really low. They're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. So that's basically what I'm doing with all the leads that they're providing. Right.
What types of incentives are you giving your team?
Oh, so then that's the thing too. I'm paying 5% of profits quarterly now.
And how are you tracking profit?
So then I have a SKU system in place. So I have the buy cost, the break even price, and the sale price the day I purchased it, because I have replens too.
Yeah.
And then I have the sourcer that found it, right? So then at the end of the quarter, on like Seller Board or Inventory Lab, you can check by SKU how much profit that SKU made, right? After returns. And then I told them to
go to Lister as well.
See what?
Pretty soon, Go-To Lister is going to have that. We're releasing inventory this week.
Yeah, with the SKU system.
Like, so basically you'll be able to manage your inventory, but pretty soon, like what you're saying, you'll be able to see based on the SKU or ASIN how much profit you're making, and like what you need to replenish, like how much more you need to purchase to have a 30-day supply.
Yeah. Like I use Seller Board for that with the SKUs, because I have like 4 SKUs for like one ASIN, because they're purchased on different dates, right? And sometimes they're different pricing too.
So
and actually transfer over to your repricer too, the SKUs. At least be cool. That's what I use.
Yeah.
The SKUs transfer over. So if one product you're buying at $30 and then the same product you bought at $30 and then the next time you bought it was at $28, you can put different minimum prices for each SKU too. So that's why it helps a lot too when you have a SKU system like that. For the repricing. Yeah.
And so you're looking at like net profit based on buy cost and Amazon FBA fees and like what you're left over with. And then you're paying 5% of that number.
Yeah. So then I told them too, I'm like, so I pay my boys and my family to help me prep. I was like, we're just gonna leave it at $1 per unit, right? So just a flat rate of $1 per unit. It doesn't cost me. So then the thing too about OA products, a lot of the products don't require, so then the way I tell them to source too, I taught them like the prep side of it too. So I tell them when I'm buying something, I'm thinking about the prep. I don't like to waste a lot of time on prepping. So a lot of the products I buy don't require a lot of prep work. I don't know, a lot of people don't like to do it, but I do. I do a lot of commingled inventory. So for me, like last week there was like 700 units commingled inventory. So what that is Amazon has the manufacturer barcode already into the system. So all you have to do is scan it, and it'll show at least on 2D workflow, it says no label commingled. You can put 700 units, and now you just put in the box. No labels or no polybagging or anything. You just put in the box and you ship it to Amazon. So for 700 units, it took me like an hour and a half to do, right?
Are you paying Amazon to label then?
No, because it's commingled. When it checks into Amazon, what they do is they just scan the manufacturer barcode. It's the same as a FNSKU label.
Oh, okay.
So the thing with that is, where people don't like to do that is because my inventory can be the same as your inventory, right? Same manufacturer barcode, but the thing is yours might be a little damaged. And so the way commingled inventory works is there could be, my product can be in Jersey and your product can be in California, but if my pricing's better, they'll give me the buy box and they'll just ship the customer the item from California, even though that wasn't my product.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how it works. So I received products back, honestly, that were mine. I'm like, it was like an outdated model of it, but
Yeah.
the barcode is the same, exact same. So,
Yeah.
and if you have invoices to provide, then you don't really have a problem with that. So that's also the thing too. A lot of right now, 98% of the products I buy, I receive invoices for from the websites. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't have to really. I've never dealt with an IP complaint too. I use IP Alert and I just check keep up too. I know people don't trust IP Alert as much, but I play it safe. I play it safe. Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest bonus is you've given your team?
The biggest bonus. So I just came up with the bonus system.
Okay, gotcha.
In
You're just
September.
I
Yeah,
bet
yeah,
they're excited about that coming up off that 230K spin.
yeah. No, they're excited. They're really excited. So they were killing it last month with sourcing too, and So you gotta think about it too. Like 2 of my Vs I just hired in May, right? And I just found out like 2 weeks ago, being on a call, her name's Sarah, and I asked her, I pay. Oh, so I also pay for their Wi-Fi, half of the Wi-Fi bill, so they can have the fastest Wi-Fi. I'm like,
Nice.
they were paying like I don't know, 800 Filipino pesos. I'm like, okay, I'll pay another 700 Filipino pesos so you get the fastest Wi-Fi, right? Sarah, I just found out she doesn't even have a laptop. She has no laptop. I'm like, so how is your? Because I wanted to see their specs for their computers. I wanted to see if I could gift them a laptop for Christmas, right? Send it over somehow, right? And then she had an i7 processor. I'm like, your laptop's pretty fast. And she's like, it's my sister's. I'm like, what do you mean it's your sister's? And she's like, I go to my sister's house every day to work. And I'm like, that's crazy because she works 40 hours a week. But that just shows that like hard work really pays off because she's honestly she's improved a lot and she does a lot for me. Yeah,
it's crazy how hard they're willing to work over there.
Yeah, that's why I realized too with the beginner VAs they really do appreciate you if you teach them well and you treat them well. Like they'll take care of your business for you. Right?
Yeah.
So then they're really excited for the end of the year, and I already told them they have the week paid off at the last year. This year.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You coming to Miami Sellers Conference?
Miami Sellers Conference. So the thing is, probably won't believe me, but so I took a break this semester. I'm going back to school next semester.
And we're doing it during spring break this year. So March 15th through 17th.
Wait, so you're doing the same week as ASD?
It's a week after.
Yeah, because you did the same thing happened last year too. I noticed like you do it around ASD.
Yeah.
But last week
we like to make it a hard decision for you guys.
Yeah, ASD this year is March 10th, I think, right? Or March
it's the weekend before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's the weekend before. But it's not really during the weekend. It's like Sunday to Wednesday.
Oh, is it really?
So then I would have to fly out.
Just make it a full week. Go to ASD, like Amazon Lit, and then come through.
Yeah. Oh, he's coming to Miami Sellers too?
Amazon Lit's going to be there. Watch Me Amazon, Mundo Amazon.
Yeah.
There's going to be me, Taylor, Flips for Miles, Warner Fields, Soros Empire, Fast Track FBA. I mean, the whole community. We try to get everyone in there. Reezy Resells. It's going to be lit.
Yeah. You said March 14th?
15th. Friday.
So it's that same. Yeah, ASD's from 10 to 13th, and then the 15th to 17th. I don't know. I'm going
Amazon week, baby.
I'm gonna have to see. Like I said, I'm working with this brand direct, and since I'm already gonna be in Vegas, they're in California. I probably will take a trip out there too to go meet up with them. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how connected you are with the community, but I'm in like a little group chat with a few people, and we share like wholesale connections with each other. And I mean, getting to know the community helps out so much for wholesale and OA. Like you just share a few leads with each other and you have enough to spend for the whole month. Like you don't even really need VAs if you have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Also, that's also the thing I didn't finish talking about, like networking.
Yeah.
So like the brand direct I'm working on right now, a lot of money is required to like really convince them to be exclusive, right? So everything's on my account, but my buddy, he has like massive credit lines and everything. I told him hop on, and he spent like 100 grand with me on that one account. So that's to really convince the brand that we're serious. We want to work with you. Because they were telling me that Amazon spent like $2 million with them. Or I asked them like, why'd you stop selling on Amazon? And they're like, we used to sell on Amazon and we used to sell to Amazon. And the guy told me, yeah, Amazon would put $2 million orders, but that'd be a 75% discount. So honestly, it'd be like $9 million, but they pay like $2 million only. And so they cut the contracts, and they said, yeah, our brand manager doesn't even like ghosted us. I'm like, okay. So then I see an opportunity there to really like, I'll buy $500,000 every month, but I won't need that extreme discount, right? I'm fine with 60, nothing that crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they don't. So I was talking to Paul at the Southern Meetup the other day. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, it's because they don't really care about Amazon because they're doing $300 million a year in revenue, and Amazon's only doing 20 million of their sales, right? So they're not really focused on that. But I honestly think that Amazon's affecting their business, and because sometimes the pricing is lower on Amazon than their website, and I think that's really affecting them. But they don't see that though, and so I'm trying to probably like that rally to them soon.
Yeah,
or I am. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Where can people find you at? I'd keep going, man. I love talking with you, but I got wrestling practice coming up here in a few minutes. So where can they find you at?
On Instagram. I'm not really active on Twitter, but I'm very active on Instagram, on my stories at least. Young CEO Levi.
We'll link your IG below. Are the DMs open?
Yeah, the DMs are open. You can contact me.
In the DMs, ask him questions. He's good at credit. Obviously, he's taken off on Amazon the last year. He's doing OA turned into wholesale, which is really, really cool. And thanks for coming on, man.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Take care.
Adios.